Today, I want to share my top 5 half marathon tips that I learned from a full years of training. I did my first half marathon in January 2023, ran at 2 hours and 27 minutes. 1 year later, I was able to improve my timing to 2 hours and 2 minutes, and in this video, I summarized the lesson and experience I gained. Hopefully, it can help you to prepare for your first half marathon and hit the goal that is set for yourself. Alright, for tips number 1, build a solid base. Half marathon is not a sprint, it is a 21.1k journey of a distance. You require your body to run and work for an extended period of time to get the job done. So for your body to handle the challenge of a half marathon, you need to have a strong foundation of aerobic base and endurance. When I first introduced into the running space, I was not well educated with the information and steps to properly train for a long distance. The thought that I had in my mind was to just go out and run until I'm tired, but slowly after I realized I was not making any progress. My run always stuck at 2 to 3k before I call it a day. Then I started to dive deep into the reason, found out that I was running too fast in my run. My aerobic base was not really developed yet as a beginner. That's why I cannot sustain at the speed. I run fast in my run, that's why I had a slow improvement, and they say if I continue to do it like this, it might lead to injury and overtraining. I don't want that to happen on me, so I start to turn my training around with slow down my run and focus on build out my endurance first. It kind of makes sense because if you can't get to the distance, you have to slow down, make the effort easier, get to the distance first before you add in the speed to run faster. I start my base building journey with the run walk method. I think it is a very friendly method for new runners to get your foundation up, at the same time teach your body to run with accumulate time. As you incorporate running and walking in your training, it is more achievable and adaptable for beginners compared to like you have to run continuously in your first training. The way to do the run walk training is also pretty simple. You start by slow run for 1 minute, then take a walking break for 1 minute, repeat the alternation for 5 rounds. There will be a total of 10 minutes in your first training, and you want to gradually make progress in your upcoming training. For example, you can add in another round, adjust the time of alternation, and you want to do it until you can fully eliminate walking and run continuously for your goal. This method helped me to build a nice muscle memory of running. I did the training 3 to 4 times per week with a total of 40 minutes accumulated in my first week. Then I increased the volume 20 to 30% every upcoming week, and I was able to do a total of 60 minutes at the end of the month. After I felt confident with my progress, learned how to run comfortably, I then switched into heart rate training using the marathon method, 180 minus my age to find my maximum aerobic threshold number. Use the heart rate number as a guidance throughout my run to make sure I stay within my easy effort. I also applied a similar run walk technique. If I saw my heart rate goes beyond the maximum number, I will slow down, take a walking break to recover before I continue to run. Throughout the year, I did a lot of my training in a controlled easy effort. Even in my 6-day half marathon training block, I have 4 of those days doing just easy run. I feel that my base has improved a lot. Now I can cover the half marathon distance with some speed. I think the key of it is you need to put in a lot of patience, discipline, bring your ego away, really committed to slow down your run, and gradually you will build a solid base. Coming into tips number 2 that I had for you guys is incorporate varieties of fast workout. I spent about 4 months of time doing just easy run to build up my foundation before I added speed work into my training, and after I incorporate speed workout, I start to notice a nice improvement in my half marathon timing, as I think easy run can help me to go longer but probably not faster. So by having different intensity mixed in my training, it helps to improve my performance, at the same time make the overall training much more excited. The variation of fast workout include long progression run, interval, flag leg, threshold run, tempo run, race pace, and hill workout. In my previous training block, I was aiming for sub 2 half marathon, and I include interval, threshold, and race pace workout along my 15-week training plan. Interval is a set of 200 to 800 meters of sprint at my near maximum effort with a standing or walking recovery in between repetition. It is to work on my speed, my ability to take in oxygen, and my running form when pick up the pace. Threshold workout is where I run at a pace that I can sustain for about 1 hour, practice to hold the pace consistently for the entire workout without slowing down. For me, threshold run is a comfortably challenging workout set to improve our mental toughness, at the same time improve our body abilities to clear off lactic acid so that we can hold on at a faster pace before fatigue comes in. Race pace workout is one of my favorite. It stimulates the goal pace that I'll be running on race day in the workout, so my body knew how it actually feel to run at the pace. It helps to build an early confidence on that my target was sustainable, and I also use the session to practice everything I'll be using on race day, like my gear, nutrition, hydration. If anything need to be fine-tuned, I still have a lot of time to make changes. After I incorporate this fast workout in my last training block, I was able to perform on my race day, a little shy away from my target. One lesson I learned was I did not incorporate any hill workout, so when I face the elevated course, I struggle a lot, and it will be something I start to focus on in my upcoming training plan. When you start to do your hard session, something you want to keep in mind is to do a proper warm-up, cool-down before and after. For me, I like to chuck in 2K easy jog to get my body warm before the working set. You also want to make your progress slowly, like for example, if you are doing an interval, first week you can do a 200 meter for 8 sets, then moving into second week, you can adjust your workout to 400 meter for 6 sets. The idea I want to give you is to gradually increase the workout intensity and duration so that you are not exposed to overtraining and injury. Normally, hard sessions stand 20 to 30% of my weekly training volume, right about 2 days of my 6-day training, and I like to separate my hard session with easy day in between to make time for recovery, as this session can be really intense. So if you're just starting up, you can try to do it 1 time per week and always listen to your body. Don't scare to adjust the schedule to make extra time for rest. Tips number 3, sign up for a race. For first timer, having a race on your calendar give you a goal to work toward. I remember when I signed up for my first event, it was a 12K race. I felt very excited and looked forward for the day to come. I was motivated to stick with my training and show up consistently to my routine because I want to bring the best I had to the race. I can tell you the experience on race day was really amazing and totally different from my regular solo training. I felt nervous, but it gave me extra energy from the adrenaline spike running together with the community. The cheer, the support from the volunteer and spectators, the feeling of hard work being paid off, all adds up. I think I was able to push harder and give my best effort out there. Last year, I joined 5 events in total. Some of that was to test my personal best, and in my last training block, I joined 2 events, 1 half marathon and 1 10K as my tune-out race within the training plan. I think the schedule like this was very helpful because at the time, I was miserable with my training as some of the sessions felt very hard to complete. My brain started to treat me that the pace was impossible to run for the half marathon distance, so I went into the race with the mindset of test my fitness and see what can I learn from the race environment. Luckily, I did quite well, just right around the expectation I set for myself. Still not the best, but I knew I have time to make improvement. Most importantly, I pick up my confidence and start to believe I have the capabilities to do it. I brought this energy and mindset to finish the rest of my training block and deliver my progress on race day. For you guys looking to train for a better half marathon timing, I think by joining a few 5K, 10K tune-out race in your training block can be really helpful. You can assess how you do with your training in a shorter race and also use the opportunity to try out your strategy, gear, nutrition. Then based on your performance in a tune-out race, you can start to refine your goal, whether to adjust your target finish time or reassess your pacing and nutrition strategy with the experience you gain. From all of the things that you will experience from a race, I think the connection and the mental part were the most valuable for me. You will find running with the person that have the same passion as you make achieving your goal slightly easier. If you have a chance, you can always talk to others after a race. Many runners were actually willing to share their experience, and I personally very like this learning environment. Mentally, you will become more stronger as you will never know what will happen in a race. For all of the unexpected stuff present to you, like the weather, hilly course, make you realize that a race will never be smooth sailing. So you have to be ready to adjust your mindset, try to overcome it, and from tons and tons of repetition, you'll become a more confident and resilient runner. Tips number 4, your body condition. It is very important to be aware about how your body feels along your training and daily routine because it is really easy to mess up the balance between your life and training. I have a few moments in my previous training block where I was not in my best condition, but I still ends up going for the workout. Pretty much I felt very tired and I had to call it a day before I finished the workout. With that experience in mind, I started to be more conscious and listen to my body. I knew that sleep is one of the important elements to get my body to recover, so I always make sure to get 7 to 8 hours in, but sometimes I was not able to fulfill as there were other stuff happening in my life. In this situation, I learned to be more flexible. Knowing that I was not getting enough sleep, I just don't force myself to run while I adjust my training maybe to evening or switch it out with my rest day. Similar to you guys, just make sure to get very enough rest so that your body can adapt to your training. Yes, you want to be consistent, but you don't want to break your body because if you're injured in your training, it will be a major setback on your progress as you might need to take a extended break from running or even a complete rest. Physically, it affected a lot, not to mention the frustration you have to go through along this period. A more better way is to prevent injury. I did have minor pain around my knee area, very common one. It did not affect my training, but I still keep an eye on by adding strength and conditioning workout 1 to 2 times per week. Focus on lower body exercise and running drills. I did find the issue get better after I strengthened the muscle used a lot in running. From my experience, I would like to suggest 3 bodyweight movements that can easily be done. Squat, good bridge, wall sit. Do it a few times per week, a very good exercise for injury prevention. Then you're going to figure out your nutrition. As a runner, I don't get very strict with my diet. I just make sure to get good and enough food into my system. Carb being the main source, then protein and fat to help refuel and recover for my workout. I also drink a lot of water as the weather here in Malaysia are very hot and training under the hot condition Proper hydration is a must to prevent bonking and cramping. When approaching race day with 1 to 2 weeks left before the date, you want to start taper and carbo load. Taper means you reduce your training volume and intensity. Normally I do 50 to 70% less of the volume with easy run, stride, and allocate more rest day, keeping my training relaxed, still moving my leg but not too hard, and looking to keep my body fresh before race day. You also want to start carbo load 3 to 4 days prior to the race to store extra energy in your body to burn during the race. You want to eat more carbohydrate as it's turned into glucose stored in your body. One of the easiest way is to stick with the food that you familiar, eat every day, just increase the portion of it. In your half marathon race, nutrition is one of the important part. You must know what your body needs in order to help you finish the race and hit your goal. So you want to take the opportunity in your training to do the test and trial for the energy gel, hydration, electrolyte, to find out the nutrition brand, strategy, and timing that work well with your body. Then transition into your race. You just have to execute everything that you have experimented. Overall, there were a lot of things to take care just to make sure your body feel great on race day. It might feel hard to get it right on the first try, and as you progress, you're also going to need different things. So don't stop learning about your body. Continue to fine-tune your approach. Always strive for doing better. And finally, tip number 5, set goal. Along the year, I never stopped setting goal for myself. After my first half marathon, I aimed to improve my timing in my next race, and right around the end of last year, I decided to challenge for sub 2 half marathon. In the big pictures, I knew I want to improve my half marathon first before I challenge full marathon. I think by having a well-defined big goal make the long-term commitment more easier, and I always took a small step-to-step approach making progress towards my goal, as I knew it is impossible to have overnight success in sport. For beginner, I think the first time is always a great goal to help you stay on track, as it will be very excited to try out something new. I remember when I just started my journey, I was very happy and fulfilled when I'm able to achieve my first 5K, first 10K, and first half marathon. Along the journey, I learned to appreciate the process and start to celebrate every of my win, even if just a small one, as it helped me to recognize everything I have done. All of the hours of effort I put into my training, always worth it, and contribute to where I am now. I did also acknowledge that I always look forward for the next thing and set myself another goal after I finish a race or a challenge. I think it is because I start to believe I can do more and want to continue to explore my capability. Of course, different runners have different goal and purpose that spark you. Most important thing I learned is you want to set 2 goals, your short-term goal and your long-term goal. Short-term goal helps you to focus on the small step that you need to commit. It will be more flexible to adapt to your own circumstances and give you a quick feedback on your progress. I feel like by committed to short-term goal, you will be more willing to stick to your routine as you gain momentum and satisfaction through small little achievement. It will make your overall goal more sustainable and achievable. Long-term goal, on the other hand, give you a clear direction, helping you to stay committed on your journey for a long extended period. Even when you face challenges, you will find a way to overcome it and bounce back from setback, which I think is one of the very important characteristics as a runner. You fall down, but you don't give up, and you get up. So yeah, that's the 5 tips I learned so far from my half marathon journey. I hope it is helpful for all of you, and welcome to share your experience with me. I would love to hear from you guys.